On 5 News, the search for the missing Malaysian airliner goes underwater. There's a surge in emergency calls as the smog spreads, left to the care of his killer mother. How professionals miss chances to stop the death of a baby boy. Almost 25 years on from the Hillsborough disaster, families of the 96 football fans who died were in court today for the inquests they'd so desperately wanted. After the names of each of the victims were read out, the coroner began recounting the events of the 15th of April, 1989. He was a little boy treated with unimaginable cruelty and then killed at the hands of his mother. Now, a report into the death of Callum Wilson has revealed how authorities missed a series of opportunities which could have saved his life. Well, Andy is live in Westminster for us now. And Andy, a lot of people don't like this, even within the coalition. Well, Catherine, this report is clear. Climate change is happening. But there's debate about the tone of this warning, isn't there? The spending watchdog says the sale last October could have raised hundreds of millions of pounds more, but ministers were too cautious with the selling price. Well, Julian Drucker is with me now. Julian, explain what this row's about. Ibrahim Hussein, also on Facebook, says, about time a political party has the guts to say we got it wrong and we don't support this. Clearly a very emotive issue for many people, Andy. Do you think the Conservatives are beginning to think that this policy was a step too far? Tonight on News Talk Live, wild weather strikes again, both here and America. And as the Duke of York becomes the latest selfie taker, has the phenomenon had its day? All that and the rest of the day's top stories on News Talk Live. Great to speak to you tonight. A really hot topic this, isn't it? These claims by Mark Duggan's family, these lines that we heard shouted out in court this afternoon, that the jury has been influenced by the colour of this man's skin. You think that's true? A police officer has admitted lying. This is a huge blow, isn't it, to the reputation of the police force? You're saying this is just one bad apple. I'm sure lots of people at home don't think that this one police officer. They think this is a conspiracy. This was a group of police officers who purposefully set up Andrew Mitchell. Tonight, I asked the Environment Secretary if enough is being done to tackle emissions. How did you get to work today, Mr. Patterson?
I was in a car, a brief short distance today.
You mentioned it was a short car journey. Could you have walked? How does it feel to be the man behind what many are calling one of the greatest comebacks in sport?
Well, it was an amazing comeback for our team, but I have to say I was slightly embarrassed by some of the media reports that it was all down to one person.
You don't fancy swapping the sea for some frozen water, donning some ice skates? Bit of
No, I don't think so. Anyone who's seen me dance will be able to vouch for the fact that that would be a huge mistake.
So Bruce Forsyth is stepping down as the weekly host of Strictly Come Dancing. So Brucey, you're going to leave behind some very big dancing shoes. Who's going to replace you on Strictly, do you think?
Boris Johnson.
Do you fancy his job as London Mayor, then?
Yeah, that could be marvellous, Polly. Have you any influence in that direction?
I'm afraid not, Bruce. I'm sure you have more influence than I do. I think you probably know what I'm about to say. Casting our minds back to 1987, we've got a little clip. Let's have a look.
Oh, you're cruel.
And these are the treacherous conditions facing search ships. High winds and rain have made the seas hard to navigate and even tougher to search. Even if debris still floats above water, it's been almost impossible to see. After years of rehabilitation and grueling training, he's now gone back to the Alps, taking on one of the most dangerous mountains in the world, the Matterhorn. It's triggered fresh calls for all airliners to be fitted with satellite tracking, hardware that flight MH370 had on board but didn't use. It was certainly emotional when Bex, in front of thousands of fans, waved goodbye to the day job for his last ever match, playing for Paris Saint-Germain in May last year. But rather than relax, he has major retirement plans up his sleeves.